So now it was the lab started. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen. Now you can see my screen, right? We'll go to the topic of the ABAP dictionary. Okay. So as I explained in the earlier demonstrations, right? In the even the explanation also the demonstration. It's a very important is the data flow. This is the data flow. SAP business transaction code. Here there will be SAP database where the data will store. Once user uses the business applications, means like what is business application or business application data. So user will use business transaction codes. This is called a business transaction code. Yesterday I explained also in the demo session. So once the user will create a business data, everything data in the industry or in the not only in the SAP, it is stored in the database. Data will go from here to here. So who will use that? This transaction code is the users. User. User will use this business transaction code. Who is the user? What is the meaning of user? Anyone? Who is the user? Who is the developer? What is the difference between a user and a developer? Because you live in this terminology. Once you are into this industry, especially the SAP, right? User and developer is very important terminology. So you'll be a user or you are a developer. Whoever is working as a ABAP, whoever is learning the ABAP, so you'll be considered as a user or a developer. Sanjay,
Sir,
you will be the ABAP you are learning, right? You will become as a developer or a user.
if I want to run the SAP program means I will be the developer, sir.
Oh, not running. You are going to create a programs.
Sorry, sir. To create a program means I will be the developer
Developer. Who
and
is
the
running
customer
your
will be
programs
the
is the
user.
user.
And the customer will be the users.
Correct. Customer who is using your programs.
Yes,
So
sir.
I told in the earlier session, the demo session only, right?
Yes.
So for example, if you take a IRTC, right?
Okay.
For the any website, for example, if you take a KSRTC, right? Yeah. Suppose if you take a KSRTC here. So to book a bus, for example, right? This is a KSRTC. Now we are the users or we are the developers for this website.
We are the users, sir.
We are the users because we are just using the website to book our tickets. The same way what you are doing in the SAP as well, right? So you are as the developer, you are going to build the applications, the screens and all. Okay, and the user is going to use it. That is the concept, right? For example, if I book a bus, for example, from Bangalore, say from Bangalore to Hyderabad, for example, say suppose so and so date, for example, 6th. Right? Just think of because why I'm saying this one is this type of thinking is very important to understand the data flow concept, database, programming, everything. Everything is depends on the flow. Once we understood the flow, right, it will be very interesting what we are learning and what we are doing. So whether you are as a web programmer or even the SAP functional people as well, if you know the flow data, it will be very interesting to do it while you are doing it. Okay. Now the moment I click on search the buses, what we just imagine what will happen in the back end, or what will be the output you'll get. I am asking the bus to get from details of available buses from Bangalore to Hyderabad. So I give the information and then I click on this button. So the moment I click on this, what will happen? You will get the buses list or not,
Yes, sir.
right? From where to where?
From Bangalore to Hyderabad.
Bangalore to how it comes? From where it comes? Because there is a backend code has been written by the programmer for this website where it contains all the bus informations, buses details inside the database of the KSRTC. Hence, you get this output. See here. Now, this is the two buses available from Bangalore to Hyderabad. From where it has come? It has come from the database. How it has come? From the program. This is the flow. The flow is, for this case, if I take the same case, this is the flow. You are the user here. This is the KSRTC website. As a user, right, you hit this KSRTC website, then you ask for the data. And what it has happened in the backend is this is the database. KSRTC database. Okay. And there is a program here written by, there is a program. This is a program. Okay. So this program written by the backend developer or programmer of the KSRTC website, where the data control will go to here, asking that whether there is a buses, whatever the buses are available from Bangalore to Hyderabad, and give it back that. So that information will come back from here to here, and then you get the data output here. Here, this is the flow in the back end. This is your developer. This is the developer here. Same thing in SAP as well. Same thing in the SAP as well. So once you create the data will go and sit in the database table. So when you need the data comes from the database and display the output. Now what I do is practically I'll go to the, we'll create some database related information, and then we'll see how the data storing and all is possible. Okay. And now you need to understood the just architecture of the SAP. This is your architecture here. 3-tier architecture. This is we call as presentation layer, and this we call as application layer. Application layer, and this we call as DB layer, database layer in SAP. This is the architecture. This is SAP. So the control will go like this. From here to here, the communication will happen. Here, the execution of your programs will happen here. Execution will happen here. And here the data stores, the entire data stores here. Data stores here. Okay. So the user interaction will happen through this presentation layer. Okay. And the execution will happen here, and the data stores here. Okay. What SAP has given is SAP has given a transaction codes, technical transaction codes. technical T codes. So some of them is we'll take few of them now. SC11, SC38. SC11 is the transaction code provided by SAP, where through this SAP presentation layer, you go and create a table. Table execution process will happen here. The data stores here. The SC11, we call it SC11. SC, this is the entire hot for your ABAP, not ABAP, not only for ABAP, entire SAP. ABAP dictionary, we call it ABAP dictionary, where we can create our own tables, our own custom tables, we call custom tables, and we see the data and structure of the standard tables. We'll see what is this one. And also we can create a global data types. We'll see what is global data types also. Only 1 minute. Okay, let me log into a SAP system now. So I'll give the same system which I'm accessing to you as well, so that you can find right. So I will go to here, login screen. So we'll see this, what is this client under. So client is like within one SAP system is one work unit. We'll see that, so you'll understood later. Okay. So this is the login skin once you get into SAP system. Then if you want to create any your own tables, okay, there are two types of tables basically. So let me give you the concept of that. One is standard tables, standard database tables. Another one is custom tables, means which tables which we create. What is standard means? What can you think of? Standard SAP database tables. Standard SAP database tables created by SAP company. Created by SAP. Custom tables going to be created by ABAP developers. Okay. So we'll create one table quickly. S11. You see here, this screen, right? The screen will control the entire SAP. Means whatever the topics, whatever the concepts that you are going to learn as part of the ABAP training, this controls the whole SAP. Maybe hundreds of models are there in SAP, maybe 400 or 500 also, I don't know exactly. Entire SAP runs on this concept, the backend data. Okay, we'll see one by one what is this one. So first, to create your own table. Okay, before going for creating a table, what is the data and what is the table? You might be having any idea what could be the meaning of data, or why we need a table. Think of, or why we need a database. Why we need a database?
We post any transaction, it will store on the table.
Ah, so anything that in the IT industry, right? You need place to store, right? For example, we have your other details, right? The other details will be available government database in the tables format, in the tables, right? And you have the PAN card. PAN card details is available in the database. And you have the bank account information. For example, you have the HDFC Bank. So all your account information, okay, or all the people's account of the HDFC should store in the database. So without a database, there is no IT industry. I just now explained, right, the KSRTC. Unless there is a data stored about all the buses available in the KSRTC which is running, you can't get the data. The same thing here as well. So everything data stores in the database. How the database works with respect to SAP, we are going to talk here in this topic about dictionary. Table is a placeholder of the data. Table means the placeholder of the data. Permanent the data will be saved in the table. Okay. So we will go and create one new table. Say suppose here anything that you are creating as a ABAP developer in the SAP ABAP must start with Z or Y, because SAP tables or SAP programs, what they have developed to differentiate that, okay, whatever we create as a developer as per the business requirements, it must be started with the Z or Y, the table name. So I'll give the table name here. Say suppose employee data, employee, and I'll give the today's date. In the real-time projects, okay, in the real-time projects, so you will be given a document to be followed That is called as a naming standards that to develop a table, to create a table, to create a program. So accordingly, you should follow that. For every client, the naming standards will be given accordingly. It's not like for every client we follow the same thing. Suppose you work for Capgemini and maybe your client is BMW. You follow one set of naming standards. Maybe for the same Capgemini, you are working for Volvo project, for example. So Volvo client may follow different naming standards. Maybe BMW may follow Z or maybe Volvo may follow Y like that. Y as a starting. So this all has been will be given you a document at the beginning of the project once you get into the project. Okay. Next, we'll go and create a table. Click on create. So you'll get this type of screen. No? So in every screen, when you are doing anything in SAP, a web point of view, when you are creating any new things, it asks for short description. Means what type of information you are going to store in this table, you should mention this one. This is mandatory here. It should be meaningful here. So I can give here employee data. Okay. Next, we'll go to here every class. We'll see what is the meaning of this one every class. So based on the type of the data you are going to store inside this table, we should choose either A or C. Okay. Whereas L, G, E, S, W is not specific to business data. It is related to the system data, programs information, those type of data. We use that. Otherwise, we go for either A or C. So I'll go for as a master data. Anything we don't know in SAP on the screen, if you want to get a documentation, you can press F1 here. If you press F1 here, you'll get a documentation here. What is the meaning of this delivery class? So it will mention the purpose of this one. For installation of and client copy and for transporting between customer object. So used in the external table maintenance. So you can go for here further here. It give you more information here. It will give you here what is A, what is C, what is L here. The documentation you can find inbuilt. Okay, clear? It'll be very interesting if you go on like this, press F1 and try to understand, maybe as brief as possible. Okay, and then it will be very interesting. So this one also we see what the exact purpose of this one. This is for maintaining the data into the table, or you want display only the data into the from the table. You use this one. Then you go for here. This is where you create your table information. We call it table structure. We call as here. Okay, and then we'll give you a field here. First we call it field here. First field will give is MANDT. Not mandatory. MANDT means not mandatory. Is the client name. Client in the German language. Client. Okay. And we'll make this one as a primary key to identify a record as uniquely. We'll see what is very clearly what is the primary key. And say we'll give the employee number here. And employee name here. And employee city here. You don't need to give anything Z here because this is not an object. This is just a field called field names. Hence, you don't need to give the Z here. You can give any characters here. Okay. And then in the section of the data element, okay, we can use the data type. What data type you want to give for this one, this fields. Either you can go for data element or there is also the one option of built-in types. You click here, You can create your own data types. You can assign here. We'll see what is the data element in the next class. So I'll create one data type for this one. What is data type meaning? Anyone? What is the data? What is the data type?
The name characters like alpha number.
So yes, what type of information you are going to store in a field? In the what data type, right? Type of the data will be specified by the data type. Type of the data which you are going to store. Okay. So I'll take client field. Okay, here. And length is client is always 3 only. You have been seen maybe if you observed here, when I am logging here, when I double click here, you see here this is a maximum client size 3 only. Hence I choose here 3. And you can write here what the purpose of this one is a client here. Okay. And employee number. So employee number generally it could be an alphanumeric or we can take anything. So I will take as a numeric.
Good morning.
As an integer here. Okay. And then maybe I'll take a 3 digits. One second, otherwise I'll take a numeric to make you clear. See. Numeric. We'll see what is the difference between numeric and integer and all, coming next classes. Employee number here. And employee name. What could be the employee name? Could be either alpha numeric. Right? So we'll take a character type here. Take character here from the search option here. And right length you can make it maybe 20. Employee name. And employee city. Also you can take as character. Then 20 here. Employee city.
Is there any limit for length for any characters? Until it allow 50 character, 50 length or
No, good question. Length maximum, maximum. Let's see, we can do now only. Good, very good. I think maybe up to 100. Let's see. Okay, before I just go to that one. So this will ask as a package to store. We'll see this one maybe in the next class. For now, what I do is I'll go for local object. What is the meaning of local object is this table what you are creating. You cannot move this table to other system. To the quality and the production, we cannot do it. Just for test purpose, you can go for local object. I'll create the next class or maybe after some time package as well. I'll explain. I think 255 or maybe like that. Let me check it here. 150. So allowing 150 as well. 200 characters. This is allowing.
is
I'll come to
allowed.
this.
Okay.
It is allowed 200 also I give. I was trying to save is coming this. This also I will explain now. We'll move back that one. Data class is again, right? What the information you are storing here. This will specify the physical space in the database here. Okay. So you can choose that either master data or transaction data here. And size category, how many records you are going to store inside this table. Suppose if we give 0, 0 means it will store the 0 to 1300 records here. If we give 1, 1300 to 55 and 400 records it will store in this table. If it is exceeds the data, it will go to the next storage. It won't truncate the data. This is one interview question. What happens if the size category exceeds? We'll discuss once again this one. No? Save it here. Click on yes. Right, activation. You are doing the activation here. So all these are the inactive objects. Right now, if I press enter, so we have chosen. It has been taken this current table as activation. So 200 also is allowing. Let's say I will 255. It seems it is taking maybe this much length. Okay. But yeah, if you observe Cherry, because you have explained already, in general, we don't see very length, not more than 30 or 40 or 50, we have observed, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not more than 5.
But still, when we need that is, sometimes in the program, in the runtime, whenever you want to store the data or you want to send as a string, right? That time you can concatenate data in the runtime of program. Suppose here, you want to take the data of employee number, employee name, employee city as together into one field.
Yes,
You
yes.
can, in the runtime, you can make it as a concatenation. 500 plus 3 plus 20. So 520 plus 3. 523 characters also you can send it to as a one string. In those cases, for the variables inside the ABAP program is required maximum more lengthy specification. But in the tables, generally 50 or 40 I have seen. Material number I see 40. Otherwise, we don't see generally this much big length of the uh, field size actually.
Okay.
Good question, very good. Okay, I just took as a 20 characters here. And if you see here, right, you should make it as the primary key of this one. This is the primary key field where it will identify the data uniquely. Okay, this flag I will tell you after few days. This is for initial values of the specific field based on the data type. So I'll choose this one as a primary key field, and this also to make it as a initial values to store in the database. Because employee number is unique in the organization. It will not be a duplicate, right? So you can imagine this one, right? So that's why given as employee number as unique. Save it here.
Just
Next.
sir, what is primary key and unique key, sir? Sometimes
I'll tell you. Yeah, this is the core of entire IT database.
Yes, sir. Sometimes my
Basically,
developer,
right?
they are asking us me, what is your primary keys when we give the requirement to them.
Yeah. Correct. See, generally, suppose if you take an employee table, right?
Yeah.
Here, suppose we are joining in Capgemini, for example. So employee number will be there. Employee name will be there, right? Employee city.
Yes.
So this employee number may not repeat, not may not, will not repeat never, right?
Yes.
Employee number 100. Employee name is, say, suppose, Ramesh. And employee state is Bangalore, for example. So this is the primary key. Employee number, if you make it as a primary key, so it will allow only unique values in this one. Now, suppose if you go to here, employee number, you see practically in the system. If I go to here, if I make it 100, employee number, Rakesh, and employee name, Hyderabad. It won't allow. If you make your table as a primary key, okay. So with the employee number, it won't allow because employee number 100 is available already. You cannot create one more employee number data into the same
Another.
table. This is how it is business point of view. Practically we'll see it. First, how we create a primary keys, business point of view, we should understood with what data we can make it this record unique. Record unique actually. Primary key means you can make a record as a uniquely with that value. Okay. I'll take that business tables as well. Mara marks the table as well, so that you will get more clarity. Check syntax here. Activation. Now we'll try to insert the data. Go to utilities, table contents, create a see here. If you observe, this is disabled, create entries, right? So to enable this one, no, you should reflect, you should make the changes here. Go to here, right? This option is there, right? This option will not allow you to create the records into the table. Okay. So you go to here, change it to maintenance allowed. Means you can insert the data as well into this table. Check syntax. Unless you check syntax and activate, it won't affect. For example, no? Save it here. Check syntax. Go to utilities, table contents, create entries. Observe here. Table maintenance is not allowed for a table. Even then you have chosen the right option here. Is it active or inactive currently the status? Here. Inactive. Hence it won't allow to insert it. Yes. The change what you have done is not reflecting. There's a purpose of activation and inactivation. I mean, what the purpose of activation is, once you make any changes, if you activate only the latest change will affect. Activate now. Right? So you get list of the inactive objects. By default, your table only is selected. Object means table in the SAP terminology. This is the table which we are working. Hence it is highlighted this one. Press enter here. Right? Now you go to here, table contents, create entries here. Now see this is enabled here. Go to here, create entries. So this is a screen where you enter the data. If I observe the first column, right? First two columns are the different color. Right? Reason is
Primary keys.
primary key because these two fields are part of the primary key. Primary key is only one primary key, but two fields uniquely we can call as primary key here. Now I'll go to here, employee number 100. So maybe I'll give as a Rajesh here. And I'll go and give city as Hyderabad. The moment I click on that save, information will go sit in the database here, in this flow. Then this flow, the moment I click on the save the data to the table, the data will go and sit here in the database here, in the table. Save it now. Record is saved. How do you check it? Click on back. Go to contents. There is a button here, contents. If you click that, it will show you the records available in the table. Number of records, one record. And go to execute here. This is one record here. Employee number, employee name, employee city. Now we'll create one more record. You can create from here also. Okay. As I said in the notepad, I'll try to create with the same employee number. Okay. And then I'll go to here. Ramesh. Bangalore. Save it now. Do you see there is error here? Right? Hello? Cherry?
Yes, sir.
Because you already created a record into this table with the same employee number, you can't create because you've chosen that field as a primary key.
Yes.
So you can create a 200 here. Save it now. Now it will save. Because this is a unique queue. The exact concept is you can make a record as a unique queue. For example, if I take a Mora table, standard database table, MARA database table. This is standard database table. Why is standard table is because it's not starting with Z or Y. Created by SAP. Click on display. This will also explain in the last session demo how the data goes to Mora table through the business transaction code MM01. Go to display. You see now these two fields are part of the primary key. With these two fields, data you don't see any duplicate here. Go to the contents here. Go to here. See here. In this column, see client number is repeating, but the material number is different. So the combination is always unique queue. That is the concept of primary key. See here. Client number same. This client will specify from where the data you have been entered. From which client, which login client you have entered the data into the table. See here, there is no anywhere duplicates with this combination. The remaining things can be duplicate, but with this combination will be unique queue. I'll take one more table, for example, standard table, MARC table. This table will contain material number with the plant. Material number along with the plant here. You can see the primary key here, this key. This is selected means primary key fields here. What is the meaning of this one? This table contains a client, material number and plant as a unique queue record. Means with that combination you cannot see any duplicates. Now we go to the data. Go to the contents. See the contents here. Content means the records here. Record data. See here, with these three fields combination, there will not be any duplicate here. See, even then this 0001 repeating here, but a material number is changing here. Is here material number 2, plant 1. Material number 3, plant 1. Material number 4, plant 1. Material number 5, plant 1. Like that. Any question here?
No.
No, sir.
Actually, business point of view, Cherry, right? Whenever you are defining a table, right? Whenever you are giving a requirement to the developers, so we should think of in what way we should make it this one as a unique queue. Especially we go for date and all, right? Some log tables and all. Those cases we will take as a some product number or material number and date or time.
Yes.
Date and time, like we can make it as primary key because those will be always in a queue only with the date and time combination. Like that, based on the business scenario, you should think of and you should mention that what fields you should give them, you should ask them to give as a primary key. Right? You got my point, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if I go back, I'll take one more table, MARC table here. Sorry, MARD table. Go to display here. You see here, the primary key is The confusion will be generally to many people. The moment we see that this one, people think there are 4 primary keys. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. It is only one primary key. A table can have only one primary key. Nothing but we call also as the composite primary key, a group of more than one field. Group of the fields together as a primary key, not 4 primary keys here. Now what is this table will tell that in this table data can contain a material number, client, and storage location as a unique combination. Unique combination. If you go to the contents here, see the data here. See here, material number, client, material number. Client, you can ignore it at this term, no, not to confuse you. The one which it will be created automatically number where you are inserting the data, from where the data has been inserted. We'll see more details about that information of these tables. This client field here. This one. If you go back to if you go to the fields here, I'll explain in the next sessions what is the exact purpose of this one. What will happen if we don't use this one? This first field, not mandatory actually. So the mandatory means the purpose is it will specify the client dependent data. So when it comes to data, there is a client dependent data. All business data is client dependent data. All the other data, for example, table name, program name, those are not client dependent. For those tables, you don't see the MA entity field. I'll show you that in the next class. Which tables you don't find the MA entity field. But those tables we don't create. Those tables will create by the SAP company. And whatever you and me we create as part of the business requirement to the client. So the purpose is business data. Business data means purchase order data, sales order data, right? Materials data, storage location data, all these things. For this data is if you create in one login client, the data will be available in the client only. Hence, you should use this MANDT field. Okay. Now, if I go to here, you see here up to here also different color combination. There is no any record. Record means the row. This is one record, 2, 3, 4. There is no any record which is duplicate having the same value in this field, in this field, in this field, in this field. If you take for example this one, this is a material number in the plant 1710 in the storage location 171A. In this specific storage location, this material is we are maintaining. And if you take the second row, second data, this is specific same material, okay, same plant, but you are storing in the different location as well here, right? And here as well. If you take this one, some different material, other material storing in the 1710 plant, LGORT with the storage location. This is a unique combination. Nowhere you see the combination is repeating here. How the data comes to MARD? How the data comes to MARD?
Yeah, when we create the middle master storage location, combination of plant and storage location, it will update.
From where it will update from to any data flow, right? In SAP, this is the data flow through the business transaction code, right?
Yes.
Through the business transaction. So tables like how we are updating what I showed you, right? That we don't update for the standard tables. Those is for the custom tables only. Always all the standard tables will be the flow like this here. This is what I also explained yesterday as well in the demo. It's a business tree code. For example, MM01. This MM01, once we create a new material, then data will go and sit here. Database Mara Morsi already. All these data tables will update at one step from this screen here. From here, once we click on save, there is a backend ABAP program code. Save here. Data will go and set in the database table. So from here to here. The backend code is ABAP using the ABAP code ABAP. So these tables will update. This Mara, Marcy, Mardi tables we don't update manually, like how I'm showing. What could be the reason? What could be the reason? We don't update the data manually to these tables. Because to maintain the data consistency, all the dependent tables should be updated. Hence, through the programmatically, inside this program has been written by SAP ABAP through the ABAP, where based on the dependency foreign key concepts, data will update into all these three tables. This is the flow. Okay, any questions here?